building and at the sides. And if you have to go to the restroom's at the rear.
And there's steps right there.
Okay, we're going to start. You've got an agenda. We're going to just go through the candidates exactly as they are in order. So Mike Fulford will be the first candidate to come forward. And Mike, you have 5 minutes to talk.
Thank you, Diane.
Love you, Mike.
I love you too. Are we ready?
Yes.
Good evening, neighbors, and I can call you neighbors because I live about 500 feet from this facility here in Hernando Beach. I am the only candidate that actually lives in Hernando Beach. My 3 opponents are from Spring Hill. Let's get something right out the front and get it out of the way. I will not vote for a SunWest type establishment in the preserve if I am elected. I am against that. That's for the record. No one wants to destroy the preserve. No one that I know of. So let's talk about who is Mike Fulford. Mike Fulford in '75 was a bag boy at Publix. I quickly learned I didn't want to do that for a living, so I got into the construction engineering world. In 1984, I worked on the Skyway Bridge. Who's gone across the Skyway Bridge here? Be very scared. So I graduated from the University of South Florida in 1984 with a degree of civil engineering. Later, I attained a degree in environmental engineering. I have a master's degree in environmental engineering. The Army helped pay for my education, and so I had a 5-year payback, which started a 30-year career in the Army Corps of Engineers. When I retired from the Army Corps of Engineers, I was the senior leader of the Jacksonville District. My annual operating budget was $550 million. The county budget right now is $610 million. I'm the only candidate that's actually managed a multi-million-dollar budget. Of that $550 million, I'm proud to say $50 million of it actually went into the Everglades National Park. We partnered with the National Park Service. We partnered with Ducks Unlimited, Nature Conservancy to do some good things down there. I'm a combat veteran. I went into Afghanistan shortly after the towers went down. I also went to Iraq twice. I was a slow learner. I'm a recipient of a Bronze Star. For those veterans in the group, you know what that means. Let's talk about why I'm running. Well, frankly, I live in Hernando Beach, so I care. I hear people complain about all sorts of things, but not do anything about it. Well, it's my desire to try to do something about it. I'm currently involved in Hernando County government in a variety of volunteer positions. And so I understand how Hernando County government operates. I'm not doing it for the money, I'm not doing it for the ego. Actually, some of my friends think I'm absolutely crazy for doing it in the first place, considering what's going on in social media and some of the nastiness that's already occurred in these campaigns. Let's talk about what I'd like to accomplish, and specifically as it relates to Hernando Beach. Hernando County is the 3rd fastest growing county in the state right now. The number is anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500 people now coming across the state line on a daily basis. We're growing, right, wrong, or indifferent. Infrastructure is the greatest challenge and greatest opportunity. That's why I was asked to consider running for this particular office, because I have the environmental engineering and the construction background to know what is right and what is not. Hernando Beach infrastructure. If you elect me, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reduce the speed limit on Shoreline. I've got to convince four other commissioners to do so. It takes 3 out of 5 votes to get anything done on the commission. I want to clean up Shoreline. There's a lot of blight there. Unfortunately, the county only has 5 code enforcement officers right now in the books. My goal would be to add at least 1. Let's talk about Caliente flooding, the boat ramp, the Pettit Lane straightening, our sewer lift stations. Everybody gets that smell every once in a while. Problem is we have outdated infrastructure here. When Mr. Sasser put this stuff in, he put it in the late 60s, early 70s. It's starting to reach its engineering life. I want to work with the restaurant owners to start looking at compostable materials as opposed to plastic and things of that nature. Let's talk about taxes briefly. I want to reduce the millage rate, which is the fairest way of reducing our taxes. The way to do that is you add more taxpayers to the rolls, which is what's currently happening because of our growth. I want to review our comprehensive master plan for the county and assess the green space versus the urban sprawl. I want to look at impact fees. The deal with impact fees is you can only raise them 40% over a 4-year period, but I think that's a conversation that needs to happen. In closing, what I'd like to say is buy local and hire local. Fact check the knowledge, skills, and abilities of your candidates. When they talk about doing something for 17 years, find out what exactly that is. And here's really a litmus test. Since I live out here, I know the names of the 4 principal canals because I know the community. I ask for your vote August 23rd. I have a website, MikeFulford.com. Thank you for your time.
Okay, next candidate is Brian Hawkins. And I would like to just mention, these are all District 2. Every one of these candidates will be on your ballot for you to vote for. And while Brian's coming to the microphone, just as a reminder that many of these offices will be filled at the August 23rd election at the primary level. So
yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Yes. So Brian Hawkins, District 2.
First off, I want to thank the Hernando Beach Property Owners Association and the community members that are here this evening. For those of you who have not met me, my name is Brian Hawkins and I'm running for County Commission District 2. I'm a Navy veteran, small business owner, and entrepreneur. My wife Casey and I have been blessed to live in Hernando County for 15 years. I've started businesses and created jobs in this community. My wife Casey is a former teacher in Hernando County schools. Our 3 children, 2 of which are attending Hernando County schools currently. We have seen Hernando grow and change in ways most of us would not have considered unthinkable 15 years ago. Even in the last 5 years, we have seen dramatic change. No longer is Hernando a small county just outside Tampa Bay area. No longer is Hernando County the sleepy nature coast, home to just a few mermaids. Now, I'm a Ron DeSantis Republican. I agree with the governor for just about all policy points. But the thing he gets the least amount of credit for is something he will be known for long after his time in the governorship. His defense of our natural resources. As soon as Governor DeSantis took office, he made clean water a priority, much more than any other governor in history. He realizes that while Universal Studios and Disney get the headlines, people come to Florida for our beaches and our water. We're fortunate to live where we do. It's bad to deal with red tide. It's worse to deal with the green slime that takes over the waterways in South Florida. It will kill businesses, not just tourism. We cannot allow the same buildup on our shore that has happened in Pinellas and Pasco. We are the nature coast, and it is our responsibility to keep it that way. Fortunately, we have some time before that happens. Today, Hernando has around 200,000 residents. We've grown almost 20% since the last census. It's good that the county has grown in population. We've created better jobs. We're building nicer homes. Our quality of life has gone up. But unfettered growth, especially without infrastructure and an unupdated growth plan, will put that in jeopardy. Hernando County cannot afford to continue to run like it has been. Our population has outgrown our county government. We need to change if we want to meet the challenges of tomorrow. We need to modernize the county commission, especially the way companies do business with us. Back in 2006, when I started a small pest control company, part of what I did was grow the business through local contracts, RFP and RFQs. This is the government bid process. I learned a lot on how different counties conduct business, what the right way is and what the wrong way is. Given that experience, I know Hernando County can utilize its contract process better. We need to change the way we do business so that we can get more competitive bids, better companies providing these services, which will increase output and lower the cost, which in turn will lower the cost to you, the taxpayer. We also need to ensure we do not price our long-term residents out. With this unprecedented growth, home values have skyrocketed, especially in this community. This is a double-edged sword. All of our long-term residents' home values also continue to rise. And along with that same trend, so does the taxable value. Many of our residents are retired and on a fixed income. We do not want to price our long-term residents out of living here and enjoying their golden years. I firmly believe we need to limit the ability for the county government to tax your property above a certain threshold. The county must set a bar where once your property's value enters a certain value threshold, your property will only be taxed at the threshold capped amount, and not on any assessed value over that threshold cap. This requires our local government to spend at a conservative pace, and it also accomplishes 3 goals. First, it allows the county to keep retirees and long-term residents in their home and not pushing them out because of tax liability on fixed incomes. Second, it prevents current families who are renting from seeing drastic rental increases annually because these costs are typically passed from the landlord to the renter. And third, this proposal keeps this great real estate market we are currently experiencing moving in the right direction. This plan allows stabilization for families whose incomes may increase over time, the ability to upgrade their lives if they choose and stay in Hernando County instead of moving to surrounding counties for tax harborage in their mortgages. This is a data-driven exercise to be objective and to keep more money in the taxpayers' pockets and continues to allow for exponential growth that we as a county resident will continue to see over the next 5, 10, 20 years. Hernando County has historically been a great place to live and do business in. As our population grows, we need a county government to modernize to meet these growing needs. As your next county commissioner, I will continue to look to our future, both for opportunities and for potential problem areas to make sure Hernando continues to be a great place to live. My name is Brian Hawkins, and I'm asking for your vote August 23rd. I'm ready to stand the watch as your next county commissioner for District 2. Thank you.
Next up is April Johnson Spence, also District 2, County Commission.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here with you guys today. Thanks for the opportunity to come out. I want to listen to you, learn from you, and lead Hernando County with your needs in mind. We deserve a commissioner who has a pulse on the climate here in Hernando County from a boots-on-the-ground perspective. Not someone who's just showing up for a photo op or because it's an election year. And I've been here 17 years with my family doing that just for the county. We need someone who values transparency and someone who's good with communication. If elected, I'll be all those things for you. I'm a God-fearing fiscal conservative. I'm socially responsible. I believe that we should have limited government and we should protect our constitutional rights. Like most conservatives, of course, I support veteran services, active military, law enforcement, and first responders. Last year, campaigning has been eye-opening for me, but it's allowed me to meet some amazing residents in Hernando County, and I wanted to listen to what their concerns were. The top 3 concerns that were shared were fiscal responsibility regarding lower taxes and responsible spending by our government, keeping our identity in Hernando County with responsible growth, and leadership who listens. It just so happens those are the 3 reasons I decided to serve the community anyway, so it's a pretty good fit. I believe in a conservative government that wants the lowest possible tax to keep our community operating and planning for our future. We need taxes, but the funny thing about government is they don't generate their own revenue. It's your money. The more they collect, the more they're going to spend. They're going to take money from one pocket, put it into another pocket, tie it in a pretty bow, but it's still your money. I'm frugal with my money and my family's finances. I was with my business, with other nonprofits that I sat on the board of directors for, and I understand that the community has a concern about spending responsibly. It's your money and it should be spent reasonably and responsibly. Did you know that our current Board of County Commissioners is spending almost $1 million for a study on developing the Weeki Wachee Preserve and to buy the parking lot for that project? Well, I hate to say it, there's a lot of residents here, right here in Hernando Beach and in this room that don't want that project. We're already not good stewards of our 23 parks that we have. I've documented that on videos. You can find them on my social media page. The Board of County Commissioner told me to create awareness by documenting it, so I did, and it's created a lot of awareness. At that same meeting that the County Commission voted 5-0 approving that parking lot purchase, they also approved to increase your sales tax by 0.5% in November to put that on the ballot. Well, our entire parks budget this year was $3.5 million, and they just spent 23% of it to buy a parking lot for a project that wasn't even approved yet. I kind of have a problem with that, and I think a lot of you guys too. The millage was raised 3 years ago to build up our reserves, and it's built back up, and there's a promise of lowering that millage when we raise that sales tax. Problem is, that's not really a lower in taxes, it's just a replacement of taxes. I wouldn't have so much of a problem with it if at the same meeting they didn't spend 23% of the park's budget on a parking lot. In this coming up year, we're going to see the most growth that we've ever had in this county, including the most tax revenue. Yet, due to inflation, our residents won't see that same growth in their own homes. How would this additional tax burden hurt them? A recession and inflation will hit governments and individuals equally. Do you want a leader who recognizes a problem and helps find a solution? I've been meeting with the County Parks Department, the director, and leadership, and I've been documenting those parks like I mentioned. According to the current leadership, we haven't prioritized parks in our past. It's the first thing to get cut in a budget. Well, do you trust them with a new park? One of the biggest parks that we'll have in this county when they're said and done? We're the third fastest growing community in the state of Florida with projected 40,000 new homes in the next 10 years, according to the Florida Chamber of Commerce. We've got to manage that growth or we're going to lose that hometown charm that we have in Hernando County. Growth is scary and inevitable when you live in such a great place, but we don't want government wasting money on projects that aren't going to do any value to our community and are going to cost us taxpayers in the long run. To be clear, I'm pro-responsible government, but I'm not pro-reactionary development. We have a well-thought-out 2040 comp plan. It was created by the citizens right here in this community, and we need to stick to it to have our community's identity remain. Want to build in Hernando County? Then guess what? You got to fit into our plan, not the other way around. Citizens all over this county are standing up strong to this overdevelopment. I'm standing alongside them. When it comes to your back door, I'll stand alongside you as well. I'm listening to your concerns and will stand up to fight for you. I won't back down to bullies, political pressure, or current leadership. I have not taken money from PACs or special interest groups, and I won't let the promise of a campaign donation cloud my judgment. I am the biggest advocate in Hernando County with a heart for serving this community, and I hope that you will vote me in as your next county commissioner in August. Thank you.
Okay, we have one more candidate that did not participate, James Scaveda, that is also running for District 2. And he chose not to be here tonight, but if you need information on him, you can Google him and try to get more information. Okay, so that moves us into County Commission District 4. You will also be able to vote for County Commission District 4. So these people are important to you to know where they stand as well. The first person is Anthony Joseph Lorenz.
I like that. Set in the middle name? Okay. Woo.
How you guys doing? All right, let's do that again. How you guys doing today? There you go, there you go. So my name is Anthony Lorenz. I am running for County Commissioner for District 4. Right now, I am the youngest candidate on the board right now that's running, which that can be a blessing and a curse because some people feel I can't relate to them. I can just tell people that I live here with you too. We experience all the same things. I'm not going to hit you with the cliche speech, about taxes and inflation and all that. I think we need to get to more of a definitive problem in Hernando County. And I don't mean to be rude by saying that. I'm saying that there's bigger things that are happening here that people aren't paying attention to. So, like I said, some people can think it's crazy, but to me, the big thing in this county right now is drugs. Drugs are running through this county at a rate nobody in here can obviously understand. It is bad. When I sat down and I spoke with the sheriff and I did a walkthrough at the jail, they told me almost 70% of all calls that are coming in to the sheriff's department are drug related. That might not be a problem out here in Hernando Beach as bad it is in the inner Spring Hill or Brooksville, but that's where my main focus is for my district. I grew up here in Hernando Beach. I love the beach, but I also love my youth and I love the community, trying to keep these kids safe. And the way you do that is you build a strong infrastructure and you fight drugs from the inside. I grew up here. I'm not like everybody else. I don't have a background in military. I don't have a background in law enforcement. I'm just a regular person, not a politician. I'm in no way, shape, or form a politician. I'm literally just doing this because I felt that it was time for somebody to run that doesn't relate to the political parties, right? And has an open mind, a free spirit, and literally I take crap from no one at all. You will not buy me, you will not bully me, you will not tell me what to do. It's gonna be vice versa, especially when it comes to this county. I will fight for you, I will yell for you, I will scream for you, and I will do whatever it takes to make this county strong, to make it safe, to make it rich, to make it great. And the way you do it is, like I said, you find the problems. I am focused on the drugs, the gangs. A lot of you guys need to understand I'm younger, so I know what's going on with the youth. When you go to a bar and you have a shootout in the parking lot, my friend was shot 4 times in the parking lot leaving a bar because a fight broke out between 2 rival gangs about a month and a half ago. And to me, that's a problem. When you can't go out to a bar and have a celebratory drink without taking 4 shots to the chest and fighting for your life and could potentially leave your children behind. So I know that's not a problem for some of you, but for me, that is the biggest problem. Like I said, I grew up here. Everything people think about me and say about me behind closed doors is true. I was from the gang life. I was from the drug life. I've changed my life. I found God. I've walked a different life. I ran an anti-bully group through the state. I talked at over 47 different schools. I've saved children's lives from bullying and suicide awareness. I know from the bottom of my heart, I can do whatever it takes to fight for this county. You don't have to like me. You don't have to respect me, but I promise you're gonna hear me if I win. And I will fight to do what I can to show this county. Hey, how you doing? Welcome. I will do what I can to show this county that when you bring something to the board, I was just talking to somebody about this earlier, and there's a problem, and the board isn't voting for you, and the board is voting against you, that I'm gonna be that guy that's voting for you. I don't care if it's 4-1 and I'm the only one that voted no. Because to me, that's the biggest mark, is when you actually listen to the people, you fight for the people, and you stand up for the people. This is a plan for me to excel my life in politics. So I'm gonna do what I can to earn your trust, your respect, and like I said, your vote. And I have no more time left after this, but I'm gonna let you guys know before I leave again, my name is Anthony Lorenz. I'm running for Hernando County District 4 County Commissioner. And like I said, we're gonna do what we can to make the county strong. We're gonna make it rich. We're gonna make it safe. And I promise you, if you let me get in this seat August 23rd, I will make Hernando County great. I promise. I love you guys. Thank you.
Okay, the next candidate for District 4 County Commissioner is Jerry Campbell.
Thank you so much. Good evening, friends. My name is Jerry Campbell, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for putting this on, and thank you to showing up. So you, at other places you can be, this is Cinco de Mayo, so I'm sure you have somewhere else you could be. But thank you for taking the time to show up. So it was Ronald Reagan that once, I think, very wisely said that we're one generation from freedom not being free, from it being instinct. So I think that you know, you being here and taking the time to listen to us is very good. So a quick background. Unfortunately, my write-up didn't get in the Beachcomber for some reason, but I just want to take just a quick second because I think it's important to understand where people come from. So I spent the first 12 years of my life in the foster care system and eventually was adopted. My wife and I, believe it or not, were middle school sweethearts. And so we've been married for 25 years. We have 2 daughters. That is the proudest accomplishment of my life. My oldest daughter is 24. She moved to Texas, Caitlin, and she finished college and moved to Texas. My youngest daughter, Graciana, is 19, and she just finished her first year at Florida Southern University, so we're super proud of her. I spent the last 26 years building a business. I started as a delivery driver for Domino's Pizza when I was 18 years old, and I turned that into 7 franchise locations. So I was proud to own and operate here in Hernando County and Pasco County. We had 175 team members. Super proud of the opportunities that I was able to create and giving back to the community that I was able to do by doing that. It's just fantastic. So I've lived here for 17 years. Raised my family here, built my business here. This is home for us. Been a registered voter for 27 years, proud Republican, and I think all of these things make me uniquely qualified to be your next county commissioner. My government philosophy is simple. Government has a job to do, clearly. They should do that job well, and then they should get out of the way. We should find every way possible to get out of the way of the citizens and the business owners in our community. They need to stay in their lane, and that's what I intend to do. Florida, over the last 2 years, has been the firewall for freedom in America. And Hernando County, I'm proud to say, has led the way. I will continue to lead the way if I'm your next county commissioner. Things I believe in: limited government, low taxes, property rights, Second Amendment, personal responsibility. I think that's lost in our communities today. Common sense isn't so common anymore. Support of law enforcement and first responders. I believe in leading with integrity, and I will lead with respect. Even if I disagree with somebody, I will lead with respect. I believe in term limits, and I will do self-imposed term limits. If I am honored and privileged enough to serve as your next county commissioner, I'll serve 2 terms, and then I'll move on to whatever is next. So some things that I'm passionate about and I'll work to getting accomplished. So I spent the last year on the campaign trail meeting all of you and hearing from you and hearing your thoughts and concerns, your hopes and dreams for Hernando. But I've also spent the time sitting down with the different department heads that we have in the county and hearing their thoughts and their concerns and what we can do to make things better. So I'm real passionate about, obviously with my business background, economic development. I believe the government has a duty to create an environment for the people and the businesses to have an opportunity to succeed. Now, whether you take advantage of that opportunity or not, that's up to you. I believe we have an opportunity to attract large career-based businesses so our kids don't go away to college and then move somewhere else. I think they should come here. I would love, 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 love to see more items built in Hernando County and built in the USA. I do also believe in smart, well-planned growth and the 2040 comprehensive plan. I'll work together with our county administrator and our county commissioners to implement that. I'm also passionate about infrastructure, roads, parks, and then septic to sewer. I think we got to get that done, and I think we got to get that done now. So I'm ready to serve. My name is Jerry Campbell. I hope to be your next county commissioner in District 4. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, we're going to change gears now. We're going to go to School Board District 1, and we're going to start with Kay Hatch.
It's a very long walk from the back of the room.
While Kay's walking up, I'll just remind you that the school board positions are nonpartisan. So they run as not a Democrat, not a Republican, nonpartisan. So you can vote without having to worry about party affiliations in this case.
Thank you for that. My name is Kay Hatch. I am running for re-elect for the school board. My husband Dale is here with me. There are 5 people in our lives who call me Mom, and another 10 call me Grandmama. And those are the joys of my life. We too have a Gracie Ann, and she just graduated from high school, and we will be helping her celebrate next month. My journey to school board member began when I was 6 years old. I experienced a miracle at age 6. I learned how to read. It was a profound experience for me, and I have spent the rest of my life in a variety of ways trying to help young people with their reading skills. And my journey then to the school board began as I was serving as a volunteer in one of our elementary schools. I was working with kindergarten and first grade students, learning the kinds of skills that they needed to become better readers. And in the course of that volunteer work, somebody said to me, "Have you ever considered running for the school board?" And I said, "No, that was absolutely not a part of my experience or expectation. Although I routinely did attend school board meetings, no matter where Dale and I lived. As I was elected to the school board, my priority, my focus really, was student achievement. And I want to share with you an example of high quality student achievement that's happened here in Hernando County School District since, in fact, I have served on the board. I was invited to attend an opportunity for parents to learn about a new program being offered at Central High School. The program was called ACE, Advanced Education for High School Students, sponsored by Cambridge University in England. The program was in fact implemented. Parents were willing to say, yes, we think that this is a possibility for our child. Teachers, staff needed to learn new ways of presenting content, and then students learned that content and then had to prove what it was they learned through the ACE exams. The very first year that the ACE program was at Central High School, the pass rate was nearly 100%. That was in 2019. I have spent several days of the last week helping to proctor exams at Central for ACE exams, and this year over 1,000 ACE exams have been taken by students at Central High School. That every one of our high schools does have an advanced academic focus, and so students can take advantage of that no matter which high school they attend. But I've also learned a great deal in my time serving about the value of career and technical education. My first experience with what we call CTE was in a visit where welding was a part of the curriculum in that particular instance. And I have a very fond memory of a student who was learning the welding trade who said to me, would you like to learn how to weld? And I said, perhaps I would. And he said, before you can do that, you have to put on all of this extra safety equipment. And I said to him, how about if I watched you through the window? We have CTE programs in criminal justice. That program, we received $350,000 from the state in order to implement that program at Nature Coast Technical High School. And as I was watching that program take shape, I sat with two young women who were learning what it is to try and figure out who is responsible for committing a crime. This crime was unsolved from 300 years ago. And they were telling me the kinds of information that they were using in order to try and figure out who in fact had actually committed that murder 300 years ago. We have a fairly, am I running? Thank you.
Great story over there.
Okay, our next school board District 1 candidate is Mark Johnson.
Good evening, I'm Mark Johnson. I'm running in District 1. I was thinking, beginning of the school year, My granddaughter Sophia goes to my daughter Christine, who teaches in Maryland and lives in Virginia, go Youngkin. And Sophia says, I'm gender fluid. Christine says, oh, what does that mean? So Christine explains in the morning, when Sophia rather explains, when I get up in the morning and I feel all frilly, I'm a girl. And when I go to school and I want to play baseball or softball, I'm a guy. When I come home at night again, if I feel like I want to put lipstick on and be a little girl, she's 12 years old, by the way, I'm a girl. My daughter says, oh, okay. 3 weeks later, Sophia comes home and announces to Christine, I'm a girl. Those are the kind of programs I feel have no place in the school system and should be removed. I oppose any kind of indoctrination in our school systems whatsoever. I don't care what it is. Left, right, green, red, blue. Kids should be taught how to think, not what to think. I was on the school board from 2014 to 2018. When I was elected, we inherited a $12 million deficit. In 2018, as I was coming off the school board, we had accumulated a $14 million unrestricted reserve. The state requires a 3%, which is roughly $6 million. We were going to expand programs. The unions came to us and said, no, you're not. We want all that money. I came off the school board, the new school board came on. They gave the teachers that year a 3.75% raise and a 4.25% raise the year after that, and then 2 4% raises. Same time, our great governor DeSantis said to the school districts, I want to give the teachers a starting salary of $47,500. And if you keep the raises 2% or less, I'll give you the money to pay for the increases for the seasoned teachers. Our school district didn't do that. Then they said, we don't have enough money to pay it. We need $1 million. Okay? Let's go to the current school year. $1 million is worth $10 million. They said they were going to give half of that to the teachers for raises. In this year's budget, this current school year's budget, there's $4.6 million for teachers' raises, plus $900,000 for existing teachers. You're talking about $10 million for 1,500 employees. Meanwhile, the other 1,500 employees get raises of 20 cents an hour. 20 cents an hour. There was a gentleman who went before the school board in January, said he was a custodian for the last 7 or 8 years. He was making $10.53 an hour. Do you think that's a problem? I do. If we don't keep the support personnel, we're not going to have a school district. When I was on the board, when I was leaving the school board, we had taken a C- school district and turned it into a B+ school district. That's what it was rated by the state for 4 years. We were ranked 32nd out of 67 counties. It's now slid down to be 40. It's still rated a B+ because they haven't changed the ratings because of COVID. But all the other counties have COVID, don't they? Or are we just unique in Hernando County? I don't understand it. I'm kind of a numbers guy. I was very active when I was on the school board. To give you an idea of some of the things I did, I started the Gentlemen's Club, the Leading Ladies Club, interns at Oak Hill Hospital, Barrett Industries, the welding program she talked about. I hooked up the ironworkers local down in Tampa, and with that CTE, that Certificate of Technical Excellence, they could go down there and it counted 1.5 years towards their apprenticeship. In 2.5 years, if they wanted to weld underwater, they're worth $100,000 a year out of high school. Problem is, 40% of our kids do not go to college. There's not enough vocational training. When I came off board in 2018, my wife and I started a nonprofit called TiVo. We were training people in the building trades to become helpers. It was a 10-week course, 2 hours, 1 night a week for $25. $25. School district can't even supply something that inexpensive. Why? I'm aggressive. I did a lot of programs. If you want to learn a lot, come talk to me. It's about the numbers. The school board hires and fires the superintendent, balances the budget and oversees the budget, and we didn't need that $1 million increase, and it also sets the policies and procedures. I oppose, vehemently oppose, any kind of indoctrination of our students. And I thank you very much for your time. Mark Johnson, District 1.
Our third and last candidate from the School Board District 1 is Jennifer Lynn Lakota, which I believe she's pretty much known as Jen.
A wise mentor of mine once said, people run for office for one of two reasons. Either to be someone or to do something. My name is Jen Lakota, candidate for Hernando County School Board District 1, and I'm here to do something about the way that our education system is being run right here in Hernando County. I've spent my entire life being an advocate for others, whether it was through my work in the nonprofit world, serving on board of directors, or simply through volunteer work. Advocating for those in need has been a huge part of my life since a very early age. I graduated from Florida State University College of Law with a JM specifically focused on legal risk management, contracting, and compliance. And I currently work in the tech compliance world. Serving on the school board would continue down the path of being able to be a voice for our parental rights and advocating for the very best for our kids. I'm not a lifelong politician. I'm not an educator. But I'm a mom with a kid in the system who wants nothing more than to change our system for the better. Our school board has been a laughingstock over the past several years. It's time for new ideas and fresh leadership. The school board has regularly and frequently said the quiet part out loud. They're claiming to be fiscally responsible by not funding the programs that are a necessity for today. But then in the same breath, we'll go crying about needing to raise impact fees. This is the same lie they told the voters of Hernando County back 2 years ago when it came to raising the millage. They claimed they had to raise the millage to fund the programs that the people wanted. Well, they got that, but why are we still fighting for working buses, solutions to traffic problems that are causing hazards up and down our streets, and decently up-to-date technology in our classrooms? Oh, and not to mention, teacher pay in Hernando County is one of the lowest in the surrounding areas. This school board has zero intentions of solving any of these problems, but just continuing to cry broke so that they can raise your taxes once again. We need someone who's willing to bring forward modern day solutions to modern day problems. The people of Hernando County are taxed enough. A vote for me would be a vote for no new taxes. Parental representation is a huge part of who I am. Like mentioning before, I'm the only candidate in this race with a kid who is actively in our system. After talking with parents all across the county, there are a few things that are very clear. Parents don't want CRT, parents don't want sexual education in our elementary classrooms, and parents want to know that their concerns are being heard. I say all this to say, we don't need a recycled politician wannabe, we need a mom who will actually get the job done. Again, my name is Jen Lakota, candidate for Hernando County School Board District 1. I encourage you all to come out and vote for a difference on August 23rd. Thank you.
Now we're going to switch courses to School Board District 3, Jimmy Ladotta.
Good evening, good evening. Thank you so much for inviting me here tonight. I just really love being on the water. I lived on an island called Tierra Verde out in St. Petersburg when I retired, and I'm gonna give you a little background on myself. I came from very humble beginnings. I was born in a place called Ybor City, when Ybor City was a situation where it was almost very similar to The Godfather. And so I was raised there, and teachers took me under their wing, and they taught me how to live in the society that we live in today. I had a principal, his name was Philip Bondi. I don't know if you know Pam Bondi, but that was her great uncle and her favorite uncle. And he took me by the hand along with my truant officers, and that's why I love my law enforcement officers so much. And they kept bringing me back to the office and kept telling me, if you don't change your ways, you're gonna end up in prison. And that is a situation that drove me through elementary and into junior high school. I had 9 years of being with that principal. Let me update you on my background. I've worked very hard through the ranks to get ahead. I have 1 year of college, 1 year of college. I worked my way in the business of groceries, drugs, meaning health and beauty aids. And I met a man, his name was George W. Jenkins. Do you know who that is? He's the founder of Publix. And the company I worked for, his very best friend was Bill Blanton, and the Blantons were involved in Publix. He took me under his wing and taught me business. He taught me how to make money in business. And in 1975, I went to go see George during the bad times because I had a great relationship in the food and drug trade. And another friend of mine was Sam Walton, and they said, Jimmy, you're gonna start a business in 1975? For the people who might have been here in 1975, it was a horrible time. I mean, we had just come off of a real problem with our fuel. You know, we had embargoes. And so I started this company. In a 5-year period, I made so much money, I retired in 5 years. In 5 years. And the reason I retired is a man named Ronald Reagan changed the tax structure from 70%, brought it down to 15 and 28, and he allowed me to retire. So I took off and retired, and I have this absolutely most gorgeous wife you've ever seen, most wonderful person in this world as far as I'm concerned, my wife Tammy. And we decided we're gonna go cruise and have a good time, so we bought a sailboat. We knew nothing of sailing. But we sailed across the Atlantic, we sailed to the Mediterranean, and then we decided to settle here in Brooksville after being on the island of Tierra Verde, where I was the chairman of the association. And we changed to Tierra Verde, big time. And so I put this situation behind me. I said, we're gonna go get ourselves a little farm. You know, instead of having all this big business and things going this way, let's get a little farm over here on Mondale Hill Road. My wife says, oh yeah, let's raise goats. So we start raising goats, and my wife Tammy at 47 years old gets cancer.
Oh dear.
Breast cancer. Situation where the doctor said her time was limited. The doctor saved my wife's life. This was in 2006. And in 2011, when my wife came out of it, she says, you have to go help the people in Hernando County. They've lost their houses, they've lost their jobs, they have no place to go. We've just gone off of a second depression. And I said to her, what am I supposed to do? I'm an old man. But Jimmy, you represented major companies. I represented General Electric, Polaroid, Duracell, Westinghouse, L'Oreal Paris, statewide, internationally. And so I decided, well, you know, what do you want me to do, honey? She says, go help them. Run for county commission, run for something. So here I am, I'm on the school board. After 3 attempts trying to get on the county commission, I lost all the races. And she kept saying, well, go out and get something done. So I did, I became a school board member. Now this is what I want you to hear. In 2014, we had a problem here because we lost a penny for projects. And when we lost a penny for projects, it put the school district in a tremendous mess. And a volunteer, his name is Anthony Kovic in the back, and myself, met and said, how do we turn this thing around? So we created a special election. And we won in 2015. And we brought $120 million back into our school district. And we repaired our schools. And they're all back to where they should be. Now I'm going to give you one thing. I have worked hard for a VOTEC school. And I've worked hard with Senator Simpson to get this done. And Senator Simpson this year delivered to us $9.3 million. And the governor signed that bill. And we're going to be building it at the airport. And I also piled up with PHSC, and they're joining us. And the county commission is giving us the land for 99 years for $1. This is what I am. I am in the business of education. Our budgets are at 8.7% reserves. Unheard of. You hear all these things about our school district. I am in the business of education, and we have done a great job. And if you look me up, it's jimmyladotta.com. Check my background, and you'll vote for me again. I need to finish this project. Help me, please.
Also running for School Board District 3 is Shannon Rodriguez.
So good evening. Let's get this situated. My name is Shannon Rodriguez. I have lived in Hernando County for 37 years. I am a parent of 4 daughters, 3 of which are currently in the Hernando County school system. They're in kindergarten, 4th, and 6th grade.
I am a businesswoman, community advocate, and candidate for Hernando County School Board District 3. Our business is very active in our community as well as partnering with our schools. In 2021, we received the Commissioner Business Recognition Award. As the owner of an essential business in Hernando County, I addressed and met the challenges of COVID-19 early on, protecting my clients and employees, meeting payroll as there was no other option. I'm not afraid of a crisis, and I have the knowledge and fortitude to meet and address situations at hand. I will bring that problem-solving ability to the school board. I'm involved in my community as Vice President of the Hernando County Education Foundation, President of the Kiwanis Club, Junior Service League, and a Rotarian. I am currently working with our public schools to bring Kiwanis into all of our Hernando schools, beginning in elementary and going up to high school to prepare the next generation of leadership, and to instill the value of community responsibility and giving back. We live in a time when our cost of living is rapidly increasing. Our property taxes are going up and our homeowner premiums are spiking. We need fiscal responsibility on the Hernando County School Board and members who will work with the County Commission to ensure that our students and teachers have a first-class education system, but also to ensure that our taxpayers, the people right here in our community, are represented and protected. Our current school board has voted to increase our millage and continues to rely on those funds when there is a shortage. We have money, we just need to allocate the funds in the proper places. Our community should be concerned due to the fact that right now, our current school board is asking the County Commission to renew the half-cent sales tax years before it expires, handcuffing the future school board and taxpayers into paying what may be considered a needless tax. It is too premature to know at this time. Our governor issued a parent choice mandate and masking, and it should have been implemented, but instead the board chose to go against the ruling and do it their way, using an opt-out as a solution. Once again, the parents and grandparents' voices were not heard. We need parental and grandparental control for our parents to be able to make their own decisions for their children. We do not have any unity between the parents and the school board, as well as division between other government boards. It does not have to be that way. We can do better in Hernando County. With county boards working together in collaboration, we can plan accordingly for the explosive growth in this county that we will continue to endure. We can attract good, smart people to our district and provide an atmosphere that they want to retire from, not run from. I have my finger on the pulse inside the schools now more than ever. This is the time we have to make a difference, and parents along with grandparents need to have the power over their child's education. The way we were taught in the old days wasn't a bad thing. Maybe not reinventing the wheel is a start. Let's go back to our roots. We need home ec, driver's ed, not online, but in person, shop class, woodworking, offered at all the schools. When we teach penmanship, it should include cursive, not just block lettering. How do they have a signature on file at the election office or sign a paycheck? Or how are they going to read the Declaration of Independence in the format that it was intended to be read? Since September, I have traveled this county. I have listened to parents, teachers, and taxpayers. I have heard the frustration from parents regarding school pickup lines that are unimaginable. We're almost at the end of school and have yet to find a resolution to a very dangerous situation. I have heard from staff boggled down by long hours without support from the district, burned out, and in some instances just giving up and walking out. I have heard from taxpayers anxious about rising costs, higher taxes, and lack of fiscal responsibility. As a school board member, I will make decisions in the best interest of our teachers, students, and taxpayers, the people right here in our county who expect a school district that exemplifies professionalism, turns out the best and brightest, our future leaders, while keeping the taxpayers in mind. We can do better. We just need new leadership on the board. For the past 6 months, I have listened, I have learned. Now I am ready to lead. It would be an honor and a privilege if you would consider voting for me in the next election on August 23rd. Your vote matters. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to serving you. Shannon Rodriguez, Hernando County School Board, District 3. Thank you.
Okay, once again, changing districts. We're going to School Board District 5. And the first person is Laura Denman.
Denman, running for Hernando County School Board. A little bit about me is I am a mom. I have twins. They're 18 years old. They're finishing up PHSC dual enrollment. I'm also a speech language pathologist, and I have worked in this community for about 14 years working with children. Previously to this, I worked still in Hernando County, but I've also worked in Largo, working with adults. And when I was doing that, I was a rehab director. So I have a little bit of background in dealing with budgets, not million-dollar budgets, but budgets as well. So in working with kids, that's my true passion. And in doing that, where I began with working with kids too was working with reading and spelling. That's a big part of my life and part of what I do. And I'll get into it in a little bit, but the literacy rate is a big issue with me. Also, in my kids, they went to Chocotchety and Challenger until halfway through 4th grade year, and then we homeschooled. In homeschooling, I also did teaching of groups, the classes, and I taught from kindergarten to high school, all different ranges of kids. And to me, it's incredibly important what we teach them and how we teach them. So, as far as my background, it's all about the kids, and that's where my focus is, and that's where I came to even want to run for school board, is being protective about the kids, the things that were coming through into our curriculum, CRT, and different things. So what I believe in is parents' rights. The school doesn't have the right to make certain decisions for the kids. We need to make sure that the parents' rights and their voice is protected. Every time that I work with kids in speech therapy or in the group setting with the co-ops, the parents were crucial. It's important to have parents involved to have our kids succeed. I also believe in respecting the taxpayers' money. For my house, we live on a budget and live within your means, and to me it's very common sense to live within your means, and that's what the school board needs to do. Also, as far as going back to what I believe in for the curriculum, working with kids is a wonderful thing, and it's a daunting responsibility. When things like critical race theory or any critical theory where it uses divisive language and pits one type of person against another, it's crucial that it doesn't belong in our curriculum. Our kids are very influenced, and when they have that put into their language at an early age, it becomes normalized to them, and that's what we don't want. We want our family values to be in the curriculum, not things like CRT, not things like sexualizing our kids, putting things into their minds that they're not even thinking about. So again, in running for this, I was very protective about these kids, and that's what really pushed me to go beyond what my comfort zone is. I come from a very small, non-political environment of working with kids and working with parents. So as far as the literacy rate, our literacy rate, according to the Florida Chamber of Commerce, for 8th graders on the FSA was at 46%. That means that 54% of our readers are failing. So there's also a graduation rate of over 90%. So to me, there's a disconnect there. What I would do on the school board, number one, I've worked with kids with reading and spelling and phonics-based reading programs. It's extremely important that you begin early. And we need to give parents education and understanding of how important it is, their role in working with these kids even before they get into pre-K. There's so much you can do before they even walk in the doors of the pre-K to get their phonics skills built up. Also, want to make sure that in our VPK programs, that there is the funding and the staff to make sure that we are identifying those kids that have phonics issues, that we are making sure there's either a reading specialist or a speech language pathologist that is doing one-on-one therapy. It's incredibly important to get that at the very beginning. Also, when it comes to those failing readers, that 54%, that there are good remedial teaching programs in our school system, because they need to not be left behind. You learn to read 1st through 3rd grade, and then you read to learn. And it's extremely challenging if you have missed things along the way and you're behind, and it's very hard to catch up. The last thing I was going to say as far as the literacy is making sure that we don't just push our kids through the school system just for a diploma. That diploma really means that they are educated and that they're going to be productive citizens because they understand what's going on. Again, my name is So I want to get back to the basics of school. That's one of the main things. And my name is Denman. I'm running for Hernando County School Board District 5. Thank you so much.
The next candidate was supposed to have been Susan Duvall, but Susan is not here tonight. She is an incumbent right now, so you can Google her to learn more about Susan Duvall. So that puts us down to Pam Everett, District 5.
Good evening, and thank you for inviting me here to speak. I am Pam Everett. I am running for District 5. I am an active advocate, which that means is I am in the schools every other day during the week. I advocate to help special needs, IEPs and 504s. Once we get those IEPs and 504s, they are now federal documents that the district must follow, and the teachers are invited to teach the kids accordingly. I ride the buses to see what the needs are. With the 50 buses that have been purchased, a lot of those deficiencies on overcrowding will be met with these buses that are coming in September. Currently, we have a lot of issues on CRT and what our kids are reading in the libraries. We have found, well, I didn't find, another group had found a book that was in one of our schools. That book was purchased in 2006. So it has been removed since then. I have parents that are going into the schools, removing books if they find anything that is not appropriate for our kids. We also had a problem last week where a supplemental math program was found called Prodigy. Instead of being reactive, we were proactive. We went into the schools, it was not part of the curriculum, it was a supplement that parents could use. So, taking action, we removed the program from the computers. Letters were sent out to the teachers, the ones we did miss, and the programs were removed. It came from the Department of Education. A lot of our problems are coming from Tallahassee, so we have to address that. It's like our FSA FCAP. I was one of the parents that sued the state of Florida in the Department of Education. There was 14 of us. We went against the FSA FCAP. It's not to stop testing, it's to stop testing that has nothing to do with education, and it puts a dollar amount on the kid's head. So what we're for is teachers that are driving the test. Let's teach the kids what's being taught in the classroom. Let's pull back. With our primary, elementary schools, let's go back to the basics. Let's have teacher-student interaction, less computer times in our elementary schools. Let's bring the teacher back to the classroom, teaching them the vowels, the consonants, how to sound out the words, how to blend them, how to do math. Let's go back to our times tables, cursive. Let's bring the old school back. Let's bring a science project in where we learn about the solar system and actually do a hands-on project with decoupage and make a planet. Something with hands-on. Let's take it back to the core. Let's bring history back. As we move forward, let's implement the technology needed to move forward in the schools. We need to move forward with economics, history, trades, and the ones that want to go into college, set them into the position to be successful. One day, these kids are going to be our government. They're going to be our neighbors. They're going to be our sheriffs. So let's prepare them academically, give them the best success possible to make them productive citizens in our community. It's about educating our kids properly. And to do that, we got to give the classrooms back to the teachers. Let them have that interaction. District needs to do just what they are there to do. They are there to run the business aspect of it. Let's hire business people to put in the business realm of administration. Let's be fiscal, transparent, and responsible with our money. I don't believe that the increase on the tax should be brought forward. We should wait until it is needed. See where our money is being followed or be spent. Follow that money. We need to be responsible. And it's all about educating our kids and setting them up to be successful. Because if they're successful, we are successful as a community. I go to a lot of the other board meetings and I listen to what's being said. I agree with what was said earlier. We need to join forces. Our school boards, our community leaders need to get together, get on the same page, and work as a community. I am Pam Everett. I'm running for School Board District 5. I am that active advocate, and I am proactive. Thank you.
Okay, our last School Board District 5 candidate is Monty Floyd.
Hope everyone's having a good night tonight. My name is Monty Floyd. I'm a homeschool father of 3. We own a small family farm over in Brooksville, and I'm also a professional with nearly 20 years of success in higher education. My background is in audit and compliance. Over the course of nearly 2 decades in that field, I have proudly saved Florida taxpayers millions by holding taxpayer-funded institutions to task. And I seek to do the same thing right here in our broken Hernando County school system. During my 2 decades in education, I have had massive success. I'm good at what I do. And what I do is forcing government institutions to stop spending like drunken sailors on shore leave. Tax money doesn't grow on trees. It's taken from us by force. Given the time constraints today, if you'd like to review my educational background, namely my degrees, accomplishments, or if you'd like to learn about my brief stint as a college ice hockey goalie, you can check out my website, montyforhernando.com. I'm currently seeking my graduate degree in crisis counseling, and I'm very proud I just wrapped up a program with Yale in contract law. I'm proudly endorsed by the most conservative member of the Florida legislature, Anthony Sabatini. I'm endorsed by President Trump's motorcycle vanguard, Born to Ride for 45, and I'm endorsed by America First Patriots, among others. Again, please check the website out for a full listing. I'm also very proud to be one of only 4 school board candidates in Florida and only 26 nationally to be listed on Governor DeSantis and President Trump's fundraising platform, WinRed. So when you hear me say that I'm the only America First candidate in the District 5 race, it's not a catchy phrase, it's a fact. I'm also the former founder and president of the great Hernando County Tea Party. Now, I decided to run for school board because I consider our government schools to be a total dumpster fire disaster. And this is why my wife and I pulled our children out to homeschool them. Shortly after entering the race, back on July 4th, we were flooded with concerned parents and teachers who were fed up. Early on, one of the biggest issues we dealt with was the overcrowding on the school buses. Parents had been trying to get the board to do something about it, and the board not only ignored them, but called them liars, as another opponent has done as well. The local media attempted to get involved to investigate matters, and the board shut them down by refusing to give them the onboard camera footage. So right after entering the race, we got involved with this matter quickly. We went around the board to ask parents to have their children record the dangerous conditions on our school buses. What we uncovered shocked us. Children on these buses were forced to sit 3 to 4 to a seat. That means some of them had to sit in the laps of other kids on a moving bus going down the highway. That's not the worst part. Some of them had to sit down the center alley of a school bus going down the highway, sometimes 6 deep. We have that on footage. Thanks to the hard work of over 30 parents and Bay News 9, we blew the lid off this cover-up back in October, which forced the district to finally address the problem. Sadly, their idiotic solution just made things worse. Today, the school buses are still overcrowded, and I'm still getting complaints from parents who are desperate to get this fixed. So if the buses are still overcrowded, what did the school district actually do to fix it? Well, they made it worse. Instead of hiring bus drivers, which is very easy to do, they instead forced mechanics to drive school buses, which in turn is causing mechanics to quit. We are now down to 3 mechanics, maybe less by now, which has caused a new, even worse crisis where half of our fleet is now out of service, and the district is struggling to fix the buses that are completely out of service to the tunes of millions of dollars. But what can you expect given everything else that has been uncovered to date? Right now, my main opponent, Susan Duvall, who did not show up, is out trying to eliminate citizen comments. Our schools are horribly neglected, and if all this wasn't enough, we have radical activists distributing what accounts of pornography to minors. We have some of it back at our table if you want to go take a look at it. We have these loons grooming children to the point that a few are now so hopelessly confused that they don't even know what gender they are. That's not happening in Los Angeles, it's happening right here in Hernando County. Quick question, what do you call someone that talks sex with kindergartners and underage children? I don't call them teachers, I call them pedophiles. And those that do this belong in prison, not a classroom. So remember to vote for Monty Floyd on August 23rd, 2022. Let's stop the woke indoctrination. Let's take our schools back. Let's clean it up. Let's do what's right for our kids. The reason our school board is out of control is because no one shows up to vote on August. They show up in November after the elections have already happened. So write it down, August 23rd, 2022. Make sure to show up. We got to vote the bums out just like Governor DeSantis says. Thank you.
That completes all of the school board candidates and takes us into State Senator District 11, which was Blaise Ngolia. And Blaise was unable to be here tonight. He had another meeting in Sumter County, but his beautiful wife, Julie, brought some literature and distributed on his behalf. And I don't know if Julie's still here. I told her I wouldn't make her speak. But anyway, moving on then to State Representative, District 53, Jeff Holcomb.
Appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Diane. Diane, there's a problem with your roster here. This is wrong. I have some breaking news to announce. One of the members of the District 53 race has left the race. He's taken his $360,000 and he's moved to the District 55 race. So Mr. Kevin Steele is no longer in the race. Just want to make that known to everyone.
Thank you.
That's breaking news on FloridaPolitics.com, by the way, if you want to look it up. So it is a smaller race now, but just the logistics of HD 53. It is no longer the seat that Blaise Ngolia currently holds. The seat was about 3/4 of Hernando County, minus the northwest portion. It is now split down the middle. The county is split in half, with the parkway being the dividing line, so the western half of the county is House District 53. The eastern side of the county is House District 52, and that's combined with Sumter County, and House District 53 combines a little bit of Pasco County, including the Hudson area. So, about myself, I'm a 20-year resident of Hernando County. I have endorsements from State Senate President Wilton Simpson and our Commerce Chairman Blaise Ngolia, as I indicated before, and both of those candidates who are running for further offices have been endorsed by Governor Ron DeSantis. I've been endorsed by 3 constitutional officers and 4 county commissioners, and I'm proud to have their support as a fellow elected official. I'm a member of the United States Navy Reserve, 16 plus years. I have multiple degrees, and I've formerly been chair of the Hernando County Republican Party. I'm a 2-term county commissioner, and as a county commissioner, safety is my #1 priority. So let's talk about public safety in Hernando Beach, folks. We are building a $1.9 million fire station, and what you were supported by before then was atrocious. And you guys know, Ms. Tomlinson knows, it was a joke, and I am so glad that that did not lead to the death or serious injury of anyone. But part of the county commission fixed that. I'm proud to be a part of that and what we did for Hernando Beach. Some other things we did at Hernando Beach: reef balls, planted seagrass, assisted the community sinking that concrete ship, repaved Shoreline Road. And a couple other things is, someone mentioned it earlier, that wastewater treatment plant. I talked to our utilities director on the way here. It is still on schedule to be decommissioned in 2023, and that's a conservative date. We're hoping for a little bit better than that. Folks, the Democrat Party, worldwide, countrywide, and statewide, is a complete failure, okay? They have focused their energy on suppressing speech. They want to mandate you to death, and that's their agenda. They don't care about what the values are that created this country. They've given up on all that. Folks, in Hernando County, we've had 2 arrests recently. One, where they got 20 illegal immigrants out of a van, Florida Highway Patrol, And another one arrested 2 illegal immigrants with $750,000 worth of drugs right here in Hernando County. The border is a joke. They want people to come across this border. They don't care if they're criminals. They don't care if they're terrorists. They want them to come here, and it's coming to Hernando County. And they've been doing this for years, and it's just getting worse. They don't care. Our governor, Ron DeSantis, brought in monoclonal antibodies during the height of the COVID. What did the federal government do? They cut them off. So our great governor went out and got the monoclonal antibodies himself. That's true leadership. That's a guy I want to stand behind as your state rep. Folks, one of the things I'm looking forward to is constitutional carry. I want that to be done in the state of Florida, and which should be done really, really soon. 20 states throughout the great state of Florida, 20 states throughout this country have constitutional carry. We don't. We should have that. Wrap this up real quick. So, as I said, I'm a sailor. One of the things we do as a sailor is we stand to watch. We stand to watch to protect the ship. We stand to watch to protect the coast. And as I did, we stand to watch U.S. Central Command on all those big screens you've seen on different TV shows. And I quote from one of my famous, because it's a Navy movie, it's a great movie, A Few Good Men. When 2 Navy officers were arguing about their defendants, Marines, they said, why do you support them so much? Because they stand up post and they say, no one's going to hurt you tonight. Folks, that's what I'm going to do in Tallahassee. I am ready to serve day one as your representative. I'm a lifelong conservative Republican. I'm a pro-Second Amendment Republican, and I'm a Ron DeSantis Republican. Thank you for your support. House District 53, Jeff Holcomb. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, for the update.
No problem.
District 53 has been a real challenge for us to keep up with on this candidates forum. The players have changed, the maps were changed, and so as Jeff has just noted, Kevin Steele has moved to a different district. So anyway, we really have struggled to try to get all the right candidates here, and not knowing who was in what district, we had to make a lot of phone calls to a lot of other people who were actually in other districts, but the maps hadn't been updated to show that. So anyway, that's the reason for that change tonight, and that takes us then into Urban Cruz.
How about
Anthony, I'm sorry, Anthony Kokovic. I knew I messed up on one.
All right, can everyone hear me well?
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for having me here tonight. I'm going to go straight into why I'm here as running for office in District 53. One of the biggest problems that we have in this county is that we are the nature coast, and we are a nature coast without activities. You know, we have to go pretty much to Tampa, Clearwater, Orlando, and everywhere else to have a decent activity. As a MAGA candidate, as a Trump MAGA candidate, we can't even have Trump come down here because we don't have a facility that would even come close to filling, to being able to have a place where he could come down here for. Ron DeSantis was just here, and the place was swarming with people, but no place to put him, unless it's in a very expensive place. So I believe we can set up the Florida State Amphitheater Sports and Conference Center here in Hernando County, right off Anderson Snow Road. The state of Florida owns a 50-acre piece of property that can easily be turned into the Florida State Amphitheater, owned and run by the state of Florida, so we can become part of the activities that take place in our area. For whether when they come here from Orlando to Tampa to Clearwater, they could come here too, so we can enjoy the benefits of having a nature coast with activities. Now, the vocational school that is being built and spearheaded by Jimmy Ladotta, and he is spearheading this vocational school since I met him in 2014. And the school and the amphitheater would work simultaneously. How will they do that? It would have audio engineering, it would have band management, event management, stage management, all of the important things that a lot of money is spent around the country to learn and to do, we can have these programs here as well for our community. Who here drives the Suncoast Parkway? Anybody here? You know, there are areas in our state that have an annual pass. Yes, an annual pass. Very expensive areas of our state. I want to bring the annual pass to everyone in the Gulf Coast region because we are being robbed by the state through that Suncoast Parkway. Every time we go 20 feet almost, and every time we get in and out of that Suncoast, we need to have a Sun Pass for the residents so we can go to places without creating traffic jams all over our community. It's so much easier to hop on the Suncoast rather than to drive to 19 and head down south, or drive to Shady Hills or 41. And the people that work from Tampa or live up here, work to Tampa, should be able to get a discount or an annual pass structure, so this way we can all drive and not pollute while we are sitting at traffic lights all over town. Now, just to give you a little bit about myself, I am a realtor, and as a realtor, I had to go through a lot of training, as well as ongoing training. And that ongoing training is over 600 pages deep, over 45 hours. I believe the state of Florida and all government officials who work for the government should be licensed. We all see this now all the time. We get junk mail from government, fake government officials. We get all kinds of mail on our phones to talk to people. We should be able to talk to a government agency person and get their license number. Go onto the state's website and type in that information and call the number that's there, so we know we are talking to the right person that is licensed, as well as when we provide important information that is not, you're not talking to a Chinese representative somewhere. So we need to implement these kind of strategies. You know, one of the problems that we have as far as congestion when it comes to school busing is the way to eliminate congestion. You know, my wife is one of those people that sat at the school way before, because we're too close to the school. So my wife actually went there an hour early every day. And one of those people that sat in the line in order to get there on time. So I'm Anthony Kokovic. I am running for the school district 53, and I am the Trump MAGA candidate. And that's why I'm here, is to implement actual activities. I could go on forever about all kinds of other stuff about me personally, but I'm here to tell you what I want to do. Thank you.
Okay, our next candidate is District 53, Urban Cruz.
Good evening, everyone. How's everybody still hanging in there? Am I doing all right? Good. Give a little background on myself. I'm born abroad, large military family. I'm raised here. I went to Shady Hills Elementary, Hudson Middle, graduated Hudson High School, went to Diesel Institute of America down in Tampa. Paid my way through school. Led to a career in construction. I've had government contracts. I've been able to balance being a single father of 2 sons, balance that business, and continue on, which is what's led me here today. I feel that I've been guided through this life and educated in this life to put me here today. As far as the residents that are here, growing up here, fishing out here in these waters, running these trails and these houses before they were even built, stop developing on this side of 19. We have Gulf Coast states, Alabama, Mississippi, they prove that, you know, we need these barriers. We need these wetlands out here. There's plenty of other Hernando County out here to build in and develop. But let's keep it out here. You know, people talk about stuff that the kids need to do. Let them come out here and swim in the holes and everything. I mean, it's here. I could go on and on. The problem I had, the two sons, they just come out. My youngest one, I tease him, I call him my little Bernie Sanders. So during COVID, when we had the time off, to listen to what they were taught with in schools, absolutely insane what they believe. Can't get him to go to work. He thinks because these companies are making millions of dollars, he was taught that he needs to start off at $20 an hour and should just go right in. This is what he firmly believes, what he was taught in school, and I can't believe I sit with my children an hour every night. I make that time and missed it. But this is, this is what these teachers do. We've got kids teaching kids. It's insane. I love what DeSantis has done. As far as let's get the education back on track. Let's find out where these tax dollars are going. Stop spending them in places that pretty much developed. And I hear some of these things about the SunWest mines. I've been embedded in this community for years. I know the family that donated property for a park, and then the county shafted him. He has no plans to develop any of that. And that's just because we have, as the state representative for this District 53, I have to work with people in Pasco County also and try to spread it here. But I firmly believe that through Hernando here, what's been developed, leave it alone. Let's build what's already here, clean it up. Reward you for that and let it grow. Just what's here, protect what's here, and move on again. I can carry on and on with the issues that I have. I want to, as a state representative, work towards this education, work towards the money that's been set aside for things. Let's get the ball rolling on these projects. Quit sitting on them. Let's not be like, parts of Pasco where they're out here and you've got hundreds of thousands of people that have moved in, and now they want to fix the roads and accommodate the traffic. Let's fix 19 before they fill up Royal Highlands out there. I just, my apologies into the rambling here. Again, I'm running for District 53. I look forward to working with some of the new people that are going into the commissioner boards, into the education boards, and with the state representatives that I've got to meet with this whole confusion with the map system, and hold us each together responsible for what we're out here to say. And let's keep things moving forward here in Florida. Keep Florida on top and be an example for the rest of the states to be like, hey, common sense people can't come out here, be in politics, think outside the box, and get things done and keep the ball rolling forward. Stop looking back. Thank you for your time. My name is Irvin Cruz Jr., State Representative, District 53.
And who should have been our last candidate was Keith Laufenberg, and he decided not to participate tonight. And I'm not sure if some of the redistricting is something that affected him or not, but he was our only Democratic candidate, but he was unable to make it. So at this time, I'd like to take a, who did I miss? Nobody. Okay. Right. Okay, at this time, I'd like to take just a quick break if anyone needs to get refreshments or something, and about a 10-minute break. And then we'll move on to questions and answers.
Did you know you're going to be here this long? I'm going to be here the whole time. Okay. You know what? One thing is, how they're talking about the world's going to end because of climate change and all that stuff. My husband and I are like the only ones that did not get disposable stuff. Take our water everywhere we go. That's the thing.
As a reminder, we have a couple of candidates who have petition cards at their table that need to still be signed. I believe Laura Denman is one of those, and Jen Lakota. So if you want to stop by those 2 tables and sign a petition card, that would be great. Thank you.
Anyway, when they get everybody all scared about
You can make that,
the
you
world's
don't
gonna
have to
end.
bend down and
I know,
go up.
it is. I'm an environmental specialist.
It's what?
Is to.
I didn't know you were breaking. I thought you were gonna throw it right to
You know,
me.
don't use.
Oh, well, you guys are hardly gonna do it.
And picking up trash and recycling, especially cans. Aluminum is the best thing to ever recycle. Okay. That's my sport.
I'm back.
It's okay. I understand.